Welcome to The Final Frame, where James honors the lives of unforgettable individuals whose stories deserve to be remembered with respect and heart. This channel looks back on iconic names from film, music, television, and culture, celebrating their achievements, their influence, and the memories they left behind. Here, every tribute becomes a lasting reflection of a life that truly mattered. Alan Osmond, the eldest member of the Osmonds, helped shape one of the most recognizable family acts of the 1970s. Through dedication and creativity, he played a key role in building a sound that connected with audiences worldwide. His work with the group became part of a lasting musical era, remembered for its harmony, energy, and wide appeal. Strength through adversity. For nearly 40 years, Alan lived with multiple sclerosis, a condition that gradually changed his physical abilities. Instead of focusing on loss, he adapted with patience and acceptance. Over time, he developed a quieter strength, showing that resilience is not always loud. It can be steady, calm, and deeply rooted in perspective and understanding. A heart for others, Alan believed in supporting others in whatever ways he could. Even when life limited what he was able to do physically, he remained present through encouragement, kindness, and connection. His actions reflected a simple but powerful idea that purpose evolves, and even small gestures can make a meaningful difference in people's lives. Legacy. Alan Osmond passed away at the age of 76, leaving behind a legacy grounded in music, resilience, and compassion. He is remembered not only for his role in the Osmonds, but also for the way he lived, with quiet strength and a deep sense of purpose. His story continues through the people he inspired and the values he carried throughout his life. Daryl Sheets built his reputation long before becoming a television figure. For over 30 years, he worked in the world of storage auctions, a field where experience, instinct, and risk-taking often determine success. Known as the Gambler, he wasn't afraid to place bold bids, trusting his judgment in hopes of uncovering hidden value. Rise to television fame. His wider recognition came with the debut of Storage Wars in 2010. The show followed buyers competing for abandoned storage units, and Sheets quickly stood out for his confident personality and sharp eye. His approach to auctions, combined with his on-screen presence, made him a memorable and consistent part of the series. Personal life and family. Away from television, Sheets valued his family life. He shared a long-term relationship with Kimber Nesbitt Pino and often worked alongside his son, Brandon Sheets. Their shared involvement in auctions reflected a strong bond and a passing down of knowledge within the family. Legacy and lasting impact. Daryl Sheets passed away at the age of 67, leaving behind a legacy shaped by both his career and personality. He helped bring attention to the world of storage auctions, turning it into engaging entertainment for a wide audience. He is remembered for his bold spirit, authenticity, and the lasting impression he made on viewers and those who knew him. Kiki Shepard, a beloved television personality, passed away at the age of 74, leaving behind a legacy defined by warmth, grace, and connection. For many viewers, she was more than just a host. She was a comforting and familiar presence who brought genuine energy to every stage she stepped onto. Her ability to connect with people, both on and off camera, made her a respected figure in the entertainment world. A memorable television presence, Shepard became widely recognized as the longtime co-host of Showtime at the Apollo, where she stood alongside performers ranging from emerging talents to established stars. Her role went beyond introducing acts. She celebrated each performance with sincerity and enthusiasm, helping create an environment that felt welcoming and uplifting. Her presence contributed greatly to the spirit of the show, making it memorable for audiences and performers alike. Compassion beyond the spotlight. Outside of television, Shepard was deeply committed to giving back. Through her work with the Kaz Foundation, she focused on supporting individuals and families affected by sickle cell disease. Her dedication reflected a desire to use her platform for something meaningful, extending her impact far beyond entertainment and into real lives. Legacy and remembrance. Kiki Shepard is remembered not only for her contributions to television, but also for the kindness and compassion she shared with others. Her legacy lives on through the people she supported, the performers she encouraged, and the audiences she touched over the years. She leaves behind a lasting impression as someone who brought both heart and purpose to everything she did. Len Deighton lived a long and thoughtful life, shaped by discipline and creativity. Before becoming a writer, he served in the Royal Air Force, an experience that influenced his perspective and later storytelling, grounding his work in realism and careful observation. Breakthrough in spy fiction. He became widely known for his debut novel, The Ipcress File, which introduced a more realistic and understated approach to espionage. The story was later adapted into a film starring Michael Caine, helping bring his vision to a broader audience and establishing his place in modern spy fiction. Creative range beyond writing. Deighton's creativity extended beyond novels. He also explored cooking, producing unique cookbooks that featured his inventive cook strips, visual, easy-to-follow guides that combined practicality with a touch of humor, showing his ability to think differently across fields. Legacy. Len Deighton passed away at 97, leaving behind a legacy defined by originality and quiet influence. His work reshaped the tone of spy storytelling, offering a more grounded and human perspective. He is remembered not only as a writer, but as a creative thinker whose ideas left a lasting mark on literature and culture. Patrick Muldoon, widely recognized for his roles in Melrose Place and Days of Our Lives, has passed away at the age of 57. He died at his home in Los Angeles following a sudden medical emergency, according to reports shared by family. His passing marks the loss of a familiar face from a memorable era of television. Rise to fame. Muldoon became a standout figure in the 1990s, building a loyal fan base through his work on Melrose Place and Days of Our Lives. His screen presence and charm made him a recognizable name during a time when television dramas were at the center of pop culture. He later expanded into film, appearing in projects like Starship Troopers, which introduced him to a broader audience. Work beyond the spotlight. Even in later years, Muldoon stayed connected to the industry, continuing to act and take on creative roles behind the scenes. He was involved in upcoming projects such as Dirty Hands and had plans to contribute as a producer on new films. His commitment to storytelling remained steady throughout his career. Lasting impression. Those who worked with him often described him as energetic and dedicated, both on and off screen. Patrick Muldoon leaves behind a body of work that reflects a vibrant period in television and film, along with memories that continue to resonate with fans and colleagues alike. At 99 years old, he is still dancing, not as a memory preserved in old footage, but as a living presence in the present moment, still capable of turning a quiet room into something warmer simply by stepping into it. What makes his story remarkable is not just the longevity, but the contrast between how the world remembers him and the far more complicated human life behind that image. The public often sees the joy, the lightness, the effortless charm that defined decades of performance. But behind that was a life shaped by distance, persistence, loss, reinvention, and an almost stubborn refusal to stop believing in joy, even when life repeatedly tested that belief. His journey is not just about fame. It is about endurance, identity, and what it means to keep becoming yourself again and again across nearly a century of change. A quiet childhood in Missouri. He was born in 1925 in a small town in Missouri where life moved slowly and expectations were even smaller. West Plains was the kind of place where most people inherited their futures rather than imagined new ones. His father was often away working, and his mother carried the household with quiet strength, though affection was not something freely expressed in the home. There was stability, but little emotional warmth, and that absence shaped him in ways he would only understand later in life. As a child, he often felt invisible, as though he were watching life rather than fully participating in it. Yet even in that environment, he discovered something that changed everything. Making people laugh shifted the atmosphere around him, and in those moments, he realized performance was not just entertainment. It was connection, recognition, and a way of being seen. The first steps toward performance. Long before any stage or camera, he studied comedy with intense focus. Films and performers became his teachers, especially classic physical comedians whose timing and movement told entire stories without words. He learned that humor was not random, but constructed, built carefully like architecture. Even as a boy, he practiced expressions, gestures, and timing, trying to understand how laughter worked and why it mattered. This was not about attention in the superficial sense, it was about communication. In a home where emotional expression was limited, performance became his language. It allowed him to reach outward when ordinary conversation could not. That early dedication was not yet a career ambition, but a personal necessity. It was how he discovered that he existed most fully when he was able to connect with others, even briefly, through shared joy and recognition. Service, discipline, and perspective. As a young man during the Second World War, he entered military service, expecting one path, but finding another. Physical limitations redirected him away from his initial goal, but he was assigned to roles that still involved performance and communication. Entertaining troops and working in broadcasting units gave him a new understanding of what performance could mean in difficult times. He saw how laughter could relieve tension, even briefly, in environments shaped by uncertainty. This period did not transform him into a traditional hero figure, but it gave him something more enduring: perspective. He returned home with a clearer sense that entertainment was not trivial. It was necessary in its own way, a reminder of humanity during stress and change. That understanding stayed with him, quietly shaping the direction of everything he would pursue afterward. Years of struggle and persistence. The years that followed were not easy. He moved from city to city, taking small jobs, performing wherever he could, and facing repeated rejection. There were moments of progress, followed by long stretches of uncertainty. He worked in comedy partnerships, small productions, and local broadcasting roles, often earning just enough to continue moving forward. During this time, he also built a family life, marrying young and becoming a father. While there was love in his home, there was also strain, shaped by financial pressure and the demands of ambition. He was frequently absent, mentally and physically occupied with the pursuit of opportunity. These years were defined less by failure than by endurance. He kept going without knowing when or if success would arrive, relying on an internal certainty that the stage, in some form, was where he truly belonged. The breakthrough on Broadway. After years of persistence, the turning point arrived in the form of theater. On Broadway, he finally found a space where his talents fully aligned with the demands of performance. His physical comedy, emotional timing, and natural warmth came together in a way that felt complete. Audiences responded not just to skill, but to authenticity. He was not performing at them, but with them, creating a shared experience that felt alive. This period marked his transition from struggling performer to recognized talent. Awards and critical attention followed, but more important than recognition was validation. It confirmed what he had believed for years, that his way of performing had value. The stage became not just a place of work, but a place of arrival, where years of uncertainty finally began to make sense in retrospect. Television and cultural recognition. Television brought him into homes across the country, transforming him into a familiar presence for millions. His work during this period defined a new kind of comedy, one built on character, timing, and emotional sincerity rather than exaggeration alone. At the center of it, he played roles that reflected an approachable, deeply human kind of optimism. What set him apart was not perfection, but relatability. He made mistakes on screen, stumbled through situations, and maintained a sense of warmth that audiences trusted. His work helped shape the language of television comedy during its formative years. While fame grew, he remained focused on craft rather than image. Success did not change his approach to performance as much as it expanded its reach, allowing more people to experience the style of humor he had spent years refining. Cinema and global recognition. His transition to film brought him into an even wider cultural spotlight. In major musical productions, he combined physical expression, dance, and comedic timing in ways that became instantly iconic. His performances carried an energy that felt effortless, though it was built on decades of discipline. Audiences around the world responded to his ability to embody joy without irony. Yet this level of visibility also brought challenges. Public perception often focused on the brightness of his image rather than the complexity of the person behind it. As his career reached international recognition, he became associated with a kind of idealized happiness. Over time, maintaining that image required emotional effort that was not always visible to others, creating a growing distance between public identity and private experience. Change, struggle, and reinvention. As the entertainment landscape shifted, so did his place within it. The style of performance that had once defined mainstream entertainment began to evolve in new directions. During this time, he faced personal difficulties and periods of internal struggle that were not widely visible at first. Like many who live much of their lives in public, he experienced a gap between external success and private balance. Eventually, he made significant life changes, stepping back to reassess priorities and rebuild stability. These years were not defined by a single turning point, but by gradual adjustment. He worked through challenges, rebuilt routines, and redefined his relationship with both career and self. What emerged was not a reinvention of image, but a return to balance where work, health, and personal clarity began to align more steadily. Later, career and continued creativity. In later decades, he returned to television in roles that suited his experience and energy, proving that creativity does not have an expiration date. These projects introduced him to new generations who had not grown up with his earlier work. Rather than fading into nostalgia, he remained active, adaptable, and engaged. He also found renewed joy in collaboration and performance, approaching work with less pressure and more appreciation. This period demonstrated that longevity in a creative field is not only about relevance, but about willingness to continue participating. He did not try to recreate the past, but instead allowed each stage of life to shape a different version of his expression. That adaptability became one of the quiet, defining strengths of his later career: love, companionship, and stability. In his later years, he entered a relationship that brought companionship and stability into his life in a deeply grounding way. After decades of public attention and personal change, this partnership offered a form of everyday consistency that contrasted with the unpredictability of earlier years. It was not defined by spectacle, but by shared routine, mutual care, and emotional steadiness. This chapter of his life reflected something simple but significant: the importance of being seen and supported without conditions attached to achievement or public identity. For someone whose life had long been shaped by performance, this kind of presence carried a different meaning. It was less about being observed and more about being understood in ordinary, quiet moments. A century of movement and meaning. At 99, he continues to move, dance, and engage with life in a way that reflects both physical resilience and emotional openness. His legacy is not only found in performances that shaped entertainment history, but also in the longer arc of a life that endured uncertainty, success, struggle, and renewal. What remains most striking is not the fame itself, but the consistency of his underlying drive to connect with others. Across nearly a century, that impulse has never fully disappeared. His story is ultimately about persistence of spirit rather than perfection of outcome. It suggests that a meaningful life is not defined by avoiding difficulty, but by continuing to find expression, connection, and joy, even after the world has changed many times around you.